In an earlier video, I demonstrated how to use SaasAnt to get my expense report into QuickBooks. I entered it as a bill, walked through a handful of things. What I want to do now is just demonstrate how you can use SaasAnt to get a single expense logged into QuickBooks. Let's say, for example, I reimbursed myself the $7,000 from my expense report. So I don't need a bill, I don't need anything complicated. But what I do want to do is show, like, yeah, this payment was made, but it's for all these different reasons. Let's pretend that instead of needing to enter a bill, that I just wanted to record that I wrote myself a reimbursement check and I want to allocate the reason I reimbursed myself money to all these different accounts, right? I want to have a nice detailed record in QuickBooks of why the reimbursement took place. So I have an Excel document. I'm going to copy and paste the relevant sections from the original Excel document that I have into my SaasAnt template. I like having a SaasAnt template because it makes things easier. Also, once you get in the groove of doing things, you find more and more things that you can quickly adjust in Excel, just make them the way you want, and then upload them, and not have to worry about QuickBooks bank feeds making some funny and crappy suggestions. So in this example, I went to my template. Let me just make it bigger so you can see it. In this example, I went to the SaasAnt template. I picked expenses on the bottom. I said I want one reference number. So in make-believe land, it's check number 1. My account, like where is the money coming from for this expense? It's coming out of the account on my chart of accounts called main checking account. Who's the money going to go to? What day does the money get issued? What is the related expense account? What description do I want to have on each line? And what dollar amount do I want to have on each line? So that's what I've got for everything here. Now that I have this all prepped, I'm going to save it and upload it into QuickBooks. Let me show you how that works. It doesn't matter where I start in QuickBooks, I need to get to my apps. So on the left-hand side of my screen, I'm just going to scroll in the gray bar until I get to apps, and then I'll go to Overview. Overview is going to show me the apps that are connected to my QuickBooks. I'm going to find my SaasAnt, and I'm just going to click on Launch for the bulk importer. It's asking what I'd like to do. The answer is I'd like to import a file, so I'm going to select that. And then once I import the file, what do I want it to do in QuickBooks? And the answer is I want it to make an expense record in QuickBooks. So I'll select expenses. It has a file here, but I want the one I just updated. So I'm going to clear this out of the memory banks. Let me just drag it and drop it from my other screen, and I'll choose Continue on the right. Now it's asking me which tab across the bottom of my Excel. I'm going to say the Expenses tab. And then I have to scroll down. It's not visible right away, but if you scroll down and click on Review, you'll have a chance to review it. I don't need to review it. My headers are all correct because I used the template. So then I'll select Upload and I'll just hang tight for a minute. All right, it says success, 13 records were successful, 0 were errors, and the number of purchases created are 1. That's fantastic. I can click on Show Results. Swell. I really like looking at it in QuickBooks. The whole point of this is to get something into QuickBooks. So let me just click on Refresh. And then once that gets done thinking, we'll look at the magnifying glass. There's lots of ways to get to your recent stuff. I like the magnifying glass because it's not a recent search, but it is a recent transaction. So I can just click on this first transaction and make sure it did what I wanted it to do. I wanted it to create an expense payable to me out of the main checking account, reference number 1, again, make-believe check number 1. I wanted to use the appropriate accounts for why the money is reimbursed. I want to have a description that makes sense so that if I look at it later, I'll remember. I want to have a dollar amount for all of my things. And then in my real QuickBooks, I'll attach receipts and attach the expense report. But for this, I just wanted to take a look and just add stuff really quickly. The reason that I'm making this video is not because I think you're going to have an expense report with 13 lines on it. It's because I think you're probably at some point going to run across something where you have a bunch of data where you're like, I need to record these expenses. Maybe I need one record with 13 lines. Maybe I need 13 records. maybe I need to add 1,000 things and I can quickly put it in Excel and I just need it to magically go into QuickBooks. That's how SaasAnt works. So hopefully this is helpful. If you have any questions, leave them down below. Thanks.